This is the motorized music box that I have built, and on top of it sits this collapsible wheel that is built from Baltic birch plywood. I started out by laying the shape out on this piece of paper, and whenever you need to transfer a form or shape from paper to wood, you can always color the backside of the paper and then scribe it onto the wood. Here I'm transferring the shape of the outer rim pieces, and here's the spoke piece. And I need 10 of the spokes and I need 20 of the outside rim. So lately I've been watching a lot of YouTube woodworking videos, and I'm learning so much. It is a fantastic community there that have this open source kind of attitude, and they just want to share tips and tricks. And before watching all these YouTube videos, I would have laid out every piece individually and marked. And I've been sawing them out individually. But one trick that I learned is that I can use this template and I can glue it onto a stack of wood. That's 10 pieces of wood there stacked together. And then I can drill through the template and I can drill through the whole stack of wood at the same time. And then I can saw the shape out on the bandsaw of all the pieces simultaneously, instead of sawing them out individually. And this not only saves you tons of time, it also gives you a completely different result. It's much more precise than if you would do it individually. And I actually can't understand why I wouldn't have thought of this myself before, but these are the kind of facepalm moments that I enjoy so much from watching other woodworkers on YouTube. So I'll put some links in the description to my favorite channels for you all to check out. Here I'm cutting a groove for the programming paper.
So my tendency would be to overstructure.
While listening to the Making It podcast with, there's Bob Clagett's voice you hear there.
But at the same time, like you said, I'm trying to keep in the flexibility, trying to keep in the priority within that structure.
And here I'm sketching the legs, the support structure for the wheel. I'm making this temporary prototype, and at this stage, I'm only interested in the length of these pieces. I'm not so interested in the shape. So I have 5 different pieces, and I need 2 copies of each. And here I'm transferring the holes, so I know where to drill, and then I lay out the shapes of these pieces. Pre-punching the drilling holes. And again, I need duplicates of each of these 5 pieces, so instead of drawing them out on the wood twice, I cut them out and later I will cut them in half to get 2 of each. That's also something that I wouldn't have thought of before watching all these other smart woodworkers. Here I'm cutting them in half, but I filmed it so stupidly so you can't see what's happening. So, but anyway, 5 pieces becomes 10. And here's the real reason why I made this wheel collapsible, to keep the music box dimensions small. And I can store the wheel inside of the music box like this. And the reason why I want to do that is that I can use a much smaller case, and I can keep the case for this music box to be within the carry-on luggage restriction for a flight. So that is actually the reason why I built the wheel collapsible, to keep the dimensions low. It could appear to be a smart idea, but I was not thinking about the weight. Often you can only have 8 or 10 kilos as carry-on luggage, and the music box with case weighs 16 kilos. So in the end, not very smart. But anyway, it has this Da Vinci kind of look that is not bad, of course. And the leg structure is a little bit Sputnik-like. So no matter what angle you put the leg structure in, the connecting points will always be round. And these metal rods is there to protect the contact microphones from being brushed on by the passing programming paper. You will see later here when I put the programming paper into the wheel that I will put the paper on top of these rods, so it can't fall down. The paper can't fall down and touch the contact microphones. There I'm putting them on top of the rods and into the music box, and it is done. On the right here, I'm playing the modulin, which is some kind of invention from me. I call it modulin because it's like a half modular synthesizer, half violin thing. And we'll try to cover what it is and how it works in upcoming videos. But this was all for now, and thanks so much for watching.